Welcome to the explainer. So, energy is literally everywhere. It's this invisible force that is constantly shaping our world, right? It makes things happen, it powers our lives. And today, we're going to break down exactly what that means. Okay, let's dive into this. To really wrap our heads around what energy actually is, I want you to think of it kind of like flavors of ice cream. At the end of the day, they are all fundamentally ice cream, right? But each one is wonderfully different. In the physics world, it's the exact same underlying concept. It's all just energy, but each distinct form has a completely different job to do. It's the exact same stuff, just served up in different, distinct flavors. So here is our menu of energy flavors for today's explainer. We're going to start by meeting the main five. Then explore energy you can sense, look at kinetic energy, unpack potential energy, and finally wrap it all up with energy in everyday life. Let's kick things off with Section 1, the flavors of energy. Meet the main five. And that brings us to a very important number, 5. This right here is the foundation for our entire explainer today. Now sure, there are countless ways to categorize energy out there, but understanding these 5 main forms, that's your key to decoding exactly how our physical world operates. Moving right along to Section 2, energy you can sense. We're talking heat, light, and sound. Okay, so there is a strict and honestly fascinating rule of physics when it comes to heat, or thermal energy. It is defined as energy that flows from warmer objects to cooler objects. And that direction, that's absolutely crucial. It is a hard rule of the universe. Heat always moves from hot to cold. It never ever goes the other way around. No exceptions. Just imagine holding a freshly poured cup of hot chocolate. You know that warmth you feel? That is literal thermal energy physically flowing from the hot liquid straight into your cooler hands. Whether it's stepping outside into the sun or sitting by a roaring campfire, warming up near a radiator, or even just rubbing your bare hands together on a chilly morning, you are actively experiencing the constant flow of thermal energy. Next up on our menu is light energy. Now, the definition here is simple but incredibly profound. It's energy you can actually see, and it travels in straight lines. Without this specific flavor of energy, our entire world would just be completely dark. Nothing. And you know what's wild about light? It travels incredibly fast. In fact, it is literally the fastest moving energy in the entire universe. We get light from the obvious sources, of course, like the sun, which is our absolute most important source, along with everyday things like light bulbs and candles. But nature also engineers its own light. Think about fireflies lighting up a backyard, or those bizarre glowing deep-sea fish navigating the pitch-black ocean. Biology itself is generating light energy way down in the depths, which is just so cool. Our third sensory flavor is sound energy. This is energy produced when an object vibrates, sending waves through the air or other materials. Think about plucking a guitar string. If you look really closely, you can see it physically wiggling back and forth, right? Well, that wiggling is a vibration. It pushes the air, creating these invisible waves that travel right to your ears, where your brain essentially performs magic and translates those physical waves into noise or music. Sounds are absolutely everywhere, and every single one of them starts with a vibration. You can almost hear them right now. The twang of a plucked guitar string, the high pitch of birds singing outside, the deep, heavy bass of thunder rumbling in the distance, a sudden burst of a friend laughing, or the sharp strike of a bell ringing. Vibration, wave, sound. It's just a constant, invisible rhythm all around us. All right, Section 3, kinetic, energy in motion. This is all about moving things around. So we're shifting gears now from the energy we can literally feel and hear to the energy of observable physical motion. Fun fact, the word kinetic actually comes from a Greek word meaning to move, and it's exactly what it sounds like. If something is moving, absolutely anything, it holds kinetic energy. Size doesn't matter here. A heavy bowling ball crashing down a lane, a flying bird, a massive race car hurtling around a track, or even just tiny, delicate raindrops falling from the sky. If it moves, it's kinetic. Period. And this brilliantly illustrates how kinetic energy really just comes down to 2 hard and fast rules: speed and mass. Rule number 1, faster equals more kinetic energy. A car driving at 100 kilometers per hour holds vastly more energy than that exact same car driving at only 50. Makes sense, right? Rule number 2, heavier equals more kinetic energy. A massive, heavy truck possesses far more kinetic energy than a small, light bicycle moving at the exact same speed simply because it has way more mass. Moving on to section 4, potential. Stored and waiting. This is energy ready to go. Now we're transitioning into a highly counterintuitive concept. Potential energy is energy that is stored in an object purely because of its position or its condition. We usually tend to think of energy as fireworks and speed, right? But not all energy is in active motion right this very second. Sometimes energy is just hiding. It's bottled up, quietly and patiently waiting for its turn to be unleashed. Energy actually hides in plain sight in some incredibly diverse ways. Take a book sitting passively on a high shelf. That has gravitational potential energy, meaning it could fall at any moment. A stretched rubber band is totally packed with elastic potential energy. Just let it go and snap. A battery sitting in your junk drawer holds chemical energy, perfectly preserved and waiting to power a device. Even the food sitting on your plate right now is holding chemical potential energy that your body's going to unlock and use later. Let's look a little closer at position, specifically height, when it comes to gravitational potential energy. The basic rule is the higher an object is above the ground, the more gravitational potential energy it holds. Just imagine a bouncy ball. If you drop it all the way from the roof of a house, it's going to bounce incredibly high because it had a massive amount of stored energy. But if you drop that exact same ball from just the height of your knee, it barely bounces at all. Less height means less stored potential energy. Finally, section 5, energy in everyday life. Let's put it all together. Let's move to and see how this builds, because it's time to take these somewhat abstract physics lessons and bring them right back down to Earth, directly into your own house. So the crucial point is really captured here in this table. Here are your 5 foundational flavors, acting as a cognitive anchor. Heat makes things warm, like a campfire. Light lets us see, like the sun. Sound lets us hear, like beating a drum. Kinetic means an object is actively moving, like a rolling ball. And potential is stored and waiting to act, like a stretched slingshot. And guess what? You interact with every single one of these daily. These invisible forms power your home routines right from the moment you wake up. In the morning, your toaster uses heat energy to brown your bread. Your television blasts out light and sound energy to show you the morning news. When you head outside and pedal your bicycle, your legs are transferring kinetic energy. And those groceries sitting in your fridge right now, that is literal potential chemical energy waiting for you to eat it so you can turn it into motion, heat, and growth. It's amazing. So, I want to leave you with a final question today. How many forms of energy can you spot around you right now? Seriously, take a look around the exact room you're sitting in as this explainer finishes. Can you see a light bulb? Do you hear a faint hum from an appliance? Is there a book just waiting on a shelf? Energy isn't just trapped in textbooks, guys. It is the invisible magic running your world at this very second. Keep looking for it,